going to bother you with some numbers. And I think with your listening skill, you can definitely manage everything. Right. What is the connection between business and Lean Six Sigma? That's the first agenda. And then little bit history. Though you have already know about it, still I will recall certain things. And then we will compare Lean and Six Sigma and understand the difference. And then we will also understand why they are mixed together, why they are integrated together, right? And so that you can better appreciate if you follow it. And then what is required for any organization to practice Six Sigma, right? Nothing but people required, right? And who are those people? We will see that. And then an overview of all the tools and techniques which we will be learning, during the course of this Black Belt program. So the very first slide, hope it is interesting to all of you, right? A lot of numbers. Let us consider the scenario 1. Selling price of a product. Imagine you are manufacturing a product and you are selling it. The selling price of the product is how much here? 100 rupees. And the manufacturing cost of the product is 72 rupees. Manufacturing cost of the product is 72 rupees. And then your production volume, 1000, maybe during a particular period. And then now what is the manufacturing cost?
72,000.
Understandable, right? All of you, because each unit cost me 72,000 to manufacture it. And since I manufacture 1000, so 72,000 is my manufacturing cost.
Yes.
Out of that, 20% of the products has some defect. And so I have to reject the product. Got it? 20%.
Yes.
So what is 20%? If 20% is the rejection rate, how many units might get rejected?
200.
Very good. Because 20% of the 1000 is 200. And then saleable units. Saleable units are 800. Right? I hope all of you are understanding each and everything. Right? Any problem, bring it to my notice. And so what will be the revenue? Can somebody explain?
800 into 1,000, 80,000.
800 into
Very
100,
good.
which is 80,000.
Very good. Saleable unit into the selling price of each unit. So 80,000. So what will be your profit?
80,000 minus 72,000.
Beautiful. What is 82,000 is your revenue, and then 72,000 is your manufacturing cost, the cost. And so the profit is 8,000. So what is your profit percentage as of now? 8,000 out of
82,000 revenue.
So what is the profit percentage now? 10%.
10%.
All of you are clear up to this?
Yes.
Correct.
Very good. And now I wanted to improve the profit. And before trying to improve the profit,
I had a question.
Yes.
This profit is from the manufacturing cost and the revenue. But if the profit from the manufacturing cost, it should be 8,000 of 72,000.
Yes, you're right. So you can calculate your profit by changing the denominator also, right? You can also calculate profit per employee. Many ways you can calculate. So this is talking about a profit out of the revenue. That means because most of the time we look at the revenue. I'm doing a business for 10 crores, and so my profit is 10%. That means 10% of 10 crore. Clear? Good. Now, operational cost, I feel that my current operational cost is high. Why do I feel so? Because my profit is thin. Am I correct? My profit is thin, so I feel like my operational cost is low. And so there are two things comes to my mind, two areas where improvement is required. One is I want to improve my profit. Another thing is I want to bring down my operational cost. And now the productivity, quality, and customer satisfaction, all of them are considered to be average. Why do I consider it to be average? Because my competitors are making more profit than me. My competitors are manufacturing the same product at a very low operational cost. And so I consider my productivity, my quality, and customer satisfaction as average. So now I continue repeating the same process. I mean, I continue running my company in the same fashion. What will happen to my output? My output will be same. When I keep doing the same thing, my output will be the same thing. No change happens, right? So my output is same as long as I put the same effort and use the same resources. Clear? My results are same as long as my efforts are same. Done. And this approach is called a traditional approach. This is how most of us we run the company. And the methodology followed is, you can even name it by some method, or you can call it traditional method. Is that clear to all of you? What is happening in scenario 1? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Done. Now we move on to scenario 2. Now scenario 2, the price of the product remains same, 100 rupees. Your customers are safe. And now the manufacturing cost is also 72. My production volume is 1000. My manufacturing cost already understood 72,000. And again, the defect percentage is, okay, defect percentage reduced now. Earlier, the defect percentage was 20. Now the defect percentage is 10%. So how many units might get rejected now?
100.
100, right? Because 10% of 1000 is just 100. And so saleable units are 900. Earlier it was 800. Now it is 900. Now what happens to your revenue? 90,000. Now, can you understand your revenue is increased?
Correct.
See here, your output is now more. But have you made any changes in your efforts?
No.
Have you made any changes in your resource? No.
No.
Only thing is, you have reduced the defect, right? And that means, more output from the same setup. We are not going to do any additional investment, right? And now look at your profit. Now the profit is 18,000. Earlier profit was 8,000. Now profit is 18,000. Where from this 10,000 got added up? Can somebody tell me?
Reducing the defects.
Reducing the defect.
Reducing the defects.
Wow. So what happens when you reduce the defect? Everything gets added up in your profit.
Correct.
You understand? This is the beauty of defect reduction. Even if you do a business, everything you get may not be your profit. But when you do a defect reduction, everything you reduce is fully your profit. That's why we call Six Sigma as a profit maximization tool. We call Six Sigma as a profit maximization tool. And now considering the profit growth, earlier it was 10%, now the profit percentage is 20%. How it is calculated? 20% of the revenue. 20% of 90,000 is 18,000. Hope all of you understand. Now, your revenue also has grown. Earlier revenue was 80,000, now it is 90,000. So how much is the percentage of revenue growth?
12.5%.
12.5%. How do you calculate?
90,000 by 90,000 is the new revenue, and 80,000 is the earlier revenue. 80,000 by 90,000 into 100.
Very good. That means 12.5% improvement, right? You will get that amount. Very good. Now your operational cost. If you avoid producing the defects, your operational cost will remain same.
At 72,000.
We are only correcting our people. We are only correcting our process. We are not increasing anything. This is a corrective action now we are doing, because of which our operational cost remains same, but we see improvement in our profit as well as revenue. This is very good, isn't it? Done.
Exactly.
Now my productivity improves. My product quality improves. My customer satisfaction improves. Can I say all these things will improve?
Correct.
Definitely, right? Because I don't produce defects, the chance of receiving a defective product from my company will go down. So customer satisfaction will be more, isn't it? Those of whomsoever join our program, they all really transform into a black belt, so that the customer satisfaction will definitely be higher. Right? Done. And now the output is more. Can I say output is more now?
Yes,
Of course.
Output is increased, but inputs are same. I have only prevented the failures. I have not increased my capacity. My capacity is same. I operate with the same number of resources, same number of operator. Only thing is, I have improved a little bit. So producing more results from the same resources, same input is called a Six Sigma project. The methodology followed is DMAC. Is that clear to all of you?
yes, sir.
This is one way you can improve productivity, you can improve quality, you can improve satisfaction. What is that way? Improve your results without increasing, or improve your results without increasing the existing resources. Same resource, but my results are better. This is called DMAC project. Hope all of you understand what is a DMAC project, where DMAC stands for Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. The methodology prescribed in the Six Sigma approach. Shall we move on to scenario 3?
Yes.
Done. Now again, selling price is 100 rupees. Cost of the product is 72. Production volume is again 1000. My manufacturing cost is 72,000. Look at the defects. I further reduce. 10% has now brought down to 1%. Only 1% is the defect rate. That means your capability is now very high. Your effectiveness is very high. What is effectiveness? You are producing what is expected. That is effectiveness. You are not producing defects. If the defects are more, effectiveness is less. If the defects are less, effectiveness is more. If your effectiveness is more, your capability is more. Sigma level is a measure of your capability. Sigma level is a measure of your capability.
So
Yes,
just
hello?
one question here. One question here, sir.
Yes, please.
What is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency?
Yes, we will cover it up. We will cover it up. So effectiveness now you understood, and efficiency you will get covered in scenario number 4. Just wait for it.
Right, sir.
Good question. Right. And so now the rejected units are only 10 out of 1000 because it is only 1%. And so saleable units are 990. And so your revenue is 99,000. Your profit is 27,000. And your profit percentage is 27.27. We have almost doubled our profit. We have tripled our profit now. What we did? We reduced the defects. Reduce the defect and then maximize your profit. And revenue growth also happening, but not in a not in a big way, but definitely there is an improvement in the revenue also.
Sir,
But
can I come?
Yeah. Revenue within that, your fixed activities. Yes, sir. You want to add something, RK, sir?
Yeah. Somebody was asking effectiveness and efficiency.
No. I have ordered the question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And now, operational cost, almost same. Again, I have not changed any resource, anything. And now productivity, quality, and customer satisfaction will improve. I think all of you will agree with my statement.
Of course.
Output is more. Efforts and resources are same. And that means the approach is once again Six Sigma. So repeat the cycle till the defect percentage comes to your satisfaction, till you achieve the desired level of effectiveness. And your effectiveness can never be 100%. That means it is an endless job for all of you. Your job is guaranteed till your lifetime. Defects will always be there, and then you can keep on reducing it, right? Some percentage will be there, right? So that's Six Sigma, that's DMAC. Now moving on to scenario number 4.
Gopal sir, I've just got one quick question.
Yes.
How to ascertain the lowest level of defects? Like typically, because for every person, it's usually different. So maybe if I'm at scenario 1 and I'm a promoter or I'm an entrepreneur, for me, maybe 20% is something that is considered as the optimum defects that I could reduce.
Correct.
And at the same level, there is 1% as well. Even if somebody wants, they can reduce to a 1%. But what would be the acceptable level of in terms of that, okay, these are the defects, or is it a case-to-case scenario that we have to always ascertain?
Yeah, always you can do benchmarking. Look at what your competitors are doing. If your competitors are doing better than you, what does it mean? There is an opportunity exists for improvement. Only thing is, you have not understood the scope for the improvement, right? And also you can look at your past experience, past performance. If nothing works, you set a target for yourself and then move towards the target. Try to move towards the target. The continuous improvement philosophy.
Okay.
Got it, Mr. Deepal?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Even if you are doing extremely good, if somebody performs better than you, you must improve. Even if you are extremely good, still you must try to reach to the next level. So continuous improvement is a never-ending journey. I said 100% is not going to happen. That means you always have some scope for improvement, but less than 1%, that's almost you have reached the level of excellence. That's what people call it, operational excellence. And Six Sigma level of performance is 99.999%. I have explained it in the second module, right, in the white belt program. Done. So we are at the scenario number 4, right? We are here. Now scenario 2, selling price is same, but manufacturing cost is reduced. Can somebody tell me, is it possible we can reduce the manufacturing cost?
Yeah,
Yes, we can.
Yes, it is possible.
That means now I am trying to be more efficient.
Okay.
Earlier, my goal was effectiveness. I wanted to satisfy my customer. Now customers are getting satisfied. They are getting satisfied. I'm effective, super effective. And now I want to make my business also satisfied. For that, efficiency comes into picture. So I will focus on reducing my operational cost. So as a result, my manufacturing cost came down. Can somebody tell me how can I bring down the manufacturing cost? Is there any approach or anything I can do to bring down the manufacturing cost?
Yeah, optimize the power consumption, optimize the thermal energy, optimize human resource cost, optimize your
Reducing waste is one way of improving cost.
Very good.
Increase productivity.
Beautiful answer. I like the word optimization. Lean is not reducing the waste. Lean is, optimizing your resources. Many times we think, it is just elimination. It is just reduction. The correct word is optimization, right? So optimize your resources and thereby your operational cost can be at its minimum. What you spend is, what is required to achieve the desired level of effectiveness. This status is called lean, right? And so my manufacturing cost came down. My production volume is still same. And so my manufacturing cost is 62,000. And again, I still run a defect percentage of 1%. 10 units are rejected. 990 are saleable. And so my revenue is 99,000, but my profit is 37,000. Earlier, it was 27,000 with Six Sigma, but now when I add the lean component, efficiency component, with effectiveness, I improved my profit to this much. Now with efficiency component, I improved my profit to 37,000. Now my profit percentage is 37.37%. Is it not amazing? From 10% to 37.37. And now my revenue growth, almost, of course, because revenue is something, you generate money out of the sales. That is same. So revenue growth is same, but for the same revenue, the profit goes up. That means your operational cost has reduced. You require only less operational cost. Why? Because you optimized your resources. You are not overutilizing. You are not underutilizing anything. See, optimizing means reducing the resources without compromising the effectiveness. That is called optimization. Reduce my resources without compromising the effectiveness. So productivity improves, quality improves, customer satisfaction improves. That means I am targeting more output from less input. Now this approach is called LSS, Lean Six Sigma. Clear? And the methodology is DMAC. Again, the same methodology: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So integrating Lean and Six Sigma, is it helpful? Tell me.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the reason. This is the reason why we integrate Lean and Six Sigma. Yes.
I have a question. Sir, if we first of all reduce the operating cost and does the optimization thing. So anyways, if I do the optimization, we will reduce the defects. So can we first do the optimization, then like it will eventually eliminate the number of defects?
You can do it parallelly. My answer to you is you can do it parallelly. Focus on effectiveness also, focus on efficiency also. Right? But most of the time, I believe all of you will be focusing on effectiveness. You increase the inspections, am I right? If you are increasing the inspection,
yes.
What does it mean?
More QC. If we add
detection is increased. Detection gets better.
When I do more inspection, I will be able to prevent a defective product in reaching my customer.
Yes.
So what is that I am targeting? Effectiveness.
Effectiveness.
So most of the time, see, your approach can be Six Sigma, your approach can be Lean, your approach can be anything. But ultimately, you must achieve the desired level of effectiveness first. Then comes the optimization. If you start a business also, can you be super efficient straight away? Not possible. You need to first of all penetrate the market, position your business, position your product, and then you will try to be super efficient. Once you become super efficient, you can simply scale it up like anything.
Okay.
All right. Got it?
So you are suggesting like first minimize the number of defects or making a good product, quality product, then scale it up.
Yes, I'm suggesting, I think it is also acceptable. Done. Then it is perfect. Good. So this is Lean Six Sigma, this is DMAC. And now we move on to another scenario, fifth scenario, just before our tea break. Selling price remains same, manufacturing cost remains same, and now I increase my production volume. When I maintain highest level of quality, I may get more orders. Now I increase my production volume. That means I'm increasing my capacity. See, already also you increased your capacity slightly. Your capacity earlier, no, here you were producing 80,000. Now from 80,000, you came to 90,000. This is an increase in capacity. 99,000, that is also increase in capacity. But the capacity is increased without adding any resource. But now we increase the capacity by adding some resources. You see here. By adding some resources, I add new machines, I develop new product, I hire more people. These are all, adding the resources, more resources to produce more output. This approach is called Design for Six Sigma. This approach is called Design for Six Sigma, and for that you can use a methodology called DMADV. Define, measure, analyze, design, and validate. And now your revenue growth, you see the improvement in revenue growth. Clear? Revenue is improving like anything. So, but you can follow the strategy, you can follow the methodology and the approach depending on your organization strategy. Now, can all of you tell me what could be your organization strategy? Is that your organization strategy is to maximize the profit, or your organization strategy is to maximize the revenue, or your organization strategy is to maximize both? Can I get some response?
It's both.
Both.
So what your company was there? So what your company is supposed to do? DMAC, Six Sigma, or Lean Six Sigma, or DFSS?
DFSS.
DFSS.
But please go step by step. Right?
First.
Go step by step. First, make your products very, very effective. A defective product should never reach your customer. Right? And then also try to gain your efficiency. If you can do these two things beautifully, then there is, like our Deepul was saying, sir, for me, this is, this is my desired level. I am okay with maintaining 1%. Yes, you can settle there. You can shift your focus from improving your existing products to development of new products. Clear? So, because you think that going further may not make sense. You're right, absolutely right. For somebody 80% and going beyond 80% is not going to make sense for me, because I will get more in some other areas. So I'll stop doing this, rather focus. This is where prioritization comes into picture. Right? So we need to prioritize things and focus our energy, focus our resource where benefits are more. This is called acceptable quality level. This is called optimum quality level. For someone, it may be 80%. For someone, it may be 90%. For someone, it may be, close to 100%. It depends. But if your competitors are doing better than you and you are settling at 80%, what will happen? You will be kicked out of the market. You should also understand the risk of not improving. Right? Sometimes not doing anything for the improvement may also become a big blunder to exit from the market. Many companies got exited because of that. Right? I no need to cite the example. All of you should be familiar. All right. And so if you are super efficient and super effective, instead of trying to improving your products further and further and further, because you are already close to 100, you can shift your focus to new product development. That is called DFSS. Those of you into new product development, those of you into research, these are all examples of DFSS project. But ultimately, finally, you are the, good decision maker. You can always float combination of these projects. In a company can float DMAC project, Six Sigma project, Lean Six Sigma project, and also DFSS project. It all depends on the top management's vision and mission. Right? The vision statement is very important. So we stop here for our tea break. Are we going good? All of you are able to follow us properly?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So it's time for our tea break. So I would like to stop here.
Sir?
Yes.
So it is like by making a continuous improvement.